Welcome to Cuckoo English Podcast for daily English practice. Hey, have you ever felt extremely motivated at night? You promise yourself, tomorrow I'll wake up early, I'll study, I'll exercise, I'll change my life.
And then morning comes and your motivation disappears like your phone battery at 1%.
If this sounds familiar, today's episode is for you. So, welcome to today's episode of Cuckoo English Podcast. I am Sophia.
And I am Jeremy. And here we don't just teach English,
but we also talk about life, habits, and mindset.
And today's topic is something we all struggle with.
Something that decides success more than talent.
More than motivation.
Today, we are talking about the power of discipline.
In this episode, we'll talk about why discipline matters more than motivation.
And how you can stay disciplined when motivation disappears.
Hey, Sophia, let me ask you something that I think almost everyone listening has experienced at some point in their life. Why do people start new things with so much excitement, energy, and confidence, but after some time, they slowly stop and never finish what they started?
That's such a relatable question, Jeremy, because I think the answer is very simple. Most people start things when they feel highly motivated. In the beginning, everything feels exciting. You feel positive, hopeful, and full of energy, so starting feels easy.
Exactly. Motivation feels powerful at the beginning, but the problem is that it doesn't last. Motivation is exciting, but it's also unreliable because it completely depends on how we feel emotionally on a particular day.
You know, I always compare motivation to a guest in our house. It arrives with a lot of energy and enthusiasm, stays for a short time, makes you feel good, and then suddenly leaves without warning, leaving you alone with your plans and responsibilities.
And sometimes it leaves such a mess behind that you're confused about what you were even trying to do in the first place. That's because motivation depends on mood. When you feel happy or inspired, motivation is strong. But when you feel tired, stressed, or bored, motivation completely disappears.
And the truth is, life is not exciting every single day. Most days are very normal, routine, and sometimes even boring. You still have responsibilities, goals, and habits to maintain, even on days when you feel low or unmotivated.
That's exactly why motivation alone is not enough. When motivation fails, and it always does at some point, we need something stronger to keep us moving forward. That something is discipline.
Now, let's explain discipline in the simplest way possible, especially for our English learners. Discipline means doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. It's not about feeling excited, it's about making a conscious choice.
Yes, discipline doesn't depend on your mood. You don't need to feel happy, energetic, or inspired. Discipline simply means you show up and do the work, even on days when you feel tired, lazy, or distracted.
Many people think discipline is something negative, like being strict or punishing yourself, but that's not true. Discipline is actually a form of self-care. It means you care enough about your future to take action today.
Yeah, that's an important point. Discipline is choosing long-term benefits over short-term comfort. Short-term comfort says, relax today, you can start tomorrow. But discipline says, just do a little today, even if it's not perfect.
For example, you may feel like watching videos all night or scrolling on your phone, which feels comfortable in the moment, but discipline means choosing to study English for just 10 or 15 minutes, even when you don't feel excited about it.
And that's the key. Discipline doesn't require big actions. It requires small, consistent actions. You don't need to study for hours. You just need to show up regularly, even for a short time.
Motivation may help you start, but discipline is what helps you continue. Motivation runs fast and gets tired quickly, but discipline moves slowly and steadily without stopping.
Motivation is like a sprint, but discipline is a marathon, and life is definitely a long race.
Now, we want you to pause for a moment and think about yourself.
What is one thing you started with excitement but didn't finish?
Was it learning English, exercising, reading books, or working on a personal goal?
Ask yourself honestly, do you usually wait for motivation or do you practice discipline?
And finally, what is one small disciplined action you can take today, not tomorrow, to move closer to your goal?
Remember, consistency matters more than intensity.
You know, Jeremy, many people believe that discipline is something you are born with. They think some people are naturally disciplined, just like they are naturally talented, and others are not.
Yes, people often say things like, I'm just not a disciplined person, as if discipline is written in your DNA and cannot be changed.
Yes, but that belief is simply not true. Discipline is not talent. Discipline is a skill, and like any skill, it can be learned, practiced, and improved over time.
Exactly. No one is born knowing how to wake up early, focus deeply, or stay consistent. These are learned behaviors. They come from repetition, not from personality.
That's why it's important to say this clearly. You are not lazy.
You are just untrained.
It sounds a little harsh, but it's actually very kind. Because if you're untrained, that means you can train yourself.
And once you understand that, everything changes. You stop blaming yourself and start building a skill step by step.
Now, let's talk about one of the biggest mistakes people make when they try to become disciplined.
They start too big, way too big.
People suddenly decide, from tomorrow, I'll wake up at 5 a.m., study for 3 hours, exercise daily, meditate, read books, and drink green juice.
And by day 2, they are completely exhausted, confused, and ready to quit everything.
That's because discipline doesn't grow from big, dramatic changes. Discipline grows from small, realistic steps.
Discipline actually loves small steps, very small steps.
Small steps feel easy, and when something feels easy, you are more likely to repeat it.
For example, if you want to learn English, don't start with long study sessions or complicated plans.
Start with just 5 minutes a day.
Yes, 5 minutes may sound too small, but it's very powerful.
Because 5 minutes daily builds a habit, and habits build discipline.
You know, there's something very important about discipline that people don't talk about enough.
Yeah, tell me.
Discipline builds trust with yourself. When you do what you promised yourself you would do, even in small ways, you start trusting yourself more.
And when you keep those small promises every day, something changes inside you. You begin to believe in yourself again.
That belief slowly turns into confidence.
And confidence is not loud.
It doesn't shout or show off.
Confidence is quiet.
It's quiet consistency, showing up again and again, even when no one is watching. Sophia, now that we understand what discipline really means, let's clearly compare discipline and motivation, because many people confuse these two. They think they're the same, but in real life, they work very differently.
That's true. Motivation usually sounds like this. I'll do it when I feel ready. People wait for the right mood, the right energy, or the perfect moment before they begin.
But discipline thinks in a very different way. Discipline says, I'll do it even if I don't feel ready. It doesn't wait for perfect conditions because it knows that perfect conditions rarely exist.
Motivation waits for the perfect mood. If you feel happy, confident, or energetic, motivation shows up. But the moment you feel tired, stressed, or bored, motivation quietly disappears.
Discipline, on the other hand, doesn't care much about mood. Whether you feel excited or exhausted, discipline still helps you take small steps forward. That's why discipline creates progress in any mood.
Let's be honest, motivation feels good. It feels exciting and powerful. You feel like you can change your whole life in one day.
But discipline doesn't feel exciting at all. Most of the time, discipline feels boring, slow, and repetitive.
And that's the funny part. Boring actually works.
Yes, it works very well. Boring daily effort brings real results, while exciting motivation usually disappears after a few days.
Let's talk about exercise because this is something almost everyone struggles with at some point.
Ah, yes, exercise. Probably the most delayed plan in human history. Everyone plans it, but very few actually start.
People often say, I'll start exercising from Monday. Monday feels like a fresh start, so it sounds very convincing.
But then Monday becomes next Monday, then next month, and before you know it, it becomes next year.
Yes, that's motivation talking. Motivation says exercise when you feel energetic and confident.
But discipline says something very different. Discipline says exercise even when you feel tired, lazy, or uncomfortable.
Discipline doesn't ask for a perfect workout. It just asks you to move your body, even for a short time.
Now, let's talk about something very important for our listeners, learning English.
Many English learners say, I'll study when I have time. It sounds logical, but there's a problem.
Time never magically appears. Life is always busy. There's always work, family, or something else to do.
That's why discipline is so important. Discipline doesn't wait for time, it creates time.
Even 10 minutes of English practice every day is better than studying for 2 hours once a month.
Small, disciplined actions build confidence slowly but surely.
And over time, those small actions turn into big results.
Jeremy, let's talk about failure, because this word scares many people. When people hear failure, they imagine something final, like the end of the road, and that fear often stops them from even trying.
Yes, failure sounds heavy and negative. Many people believe that disciplined people never fail, never break habits, and never make mistakes, but that belief is completely false and harmful.
Disciplined people fail too. They miss workouts, they skip study days, and sometimes they feel unmotivated or tired, just like everyone else. The difference is not failure itself, but how they respond to it.
Exactly. Undisciplined people fail once and quit completely. Disciplined people fail, notice it, and then continue again the next day without drama or self-hate.
Missing one day does not destroy your progress. Missing many days because of guilt and shame does. Discipline teaches you to forgive yourself quickly and return to your routine.
That's an important point. Discipline is not about being perfect every day. It's about showing up again after you fall. That ability to restart is the real strength.
So, when you miss one day of studying, exercising, or waking up early, it doesn't mean you are bad or weak. It simply means you are human.
And discipline means you don't turn one bad day into a bad week or a bad month. You miss one day and continue the next day. That simple action is discipline.
Now, let's understand something else. Discipline is not only about achieving big goals like success, money, or mastery.
Yes, discipline actually lives in small daily habits that look boring and unimportant, but slowly shape your life.
Sleeping on time is discipline because rest affects your energy, focus, and mood the next day.
Eating properly is discipline because food affects your body, your brain, and even your emotions.
Being consistent with small routines is discipline, even when nobody is watching or praising you.
These small actions may not feel powerful today, but over time, they quietly build a strong and stable life.
Big goals feel exciting, but daily habits are what actually carry you forward, step by step, without burning you out.
That's why disciplined people focus more on systems than goals. They focus on what they do daily, not only on where they want to reach.
Failure does not mean stop. Failure means adjust, learn, and continue with a little more awareness.
And when you understand this, failure stops being scary. It becomes a normal part of growth, not a reason to quit.
Discipline teaches you patience. It teaches you to play the long game instead of expecting instant results.
Small actions, repeated daily, shape big lives. Quiet effort, repeated over time, creates lasting change.
So if you fail today, don't panic. Don't judge yourself harshly. Just show up tomorrow.
Because discipline is not about never falling, it's about always getting back up.
Now, let's directly talk to our English learners, because this part of the episode is specially meant for you. If you are listening to this podcast to improve your English, we want you to pay close attention to this message.
Yes, this is for you, especially if you sometimes feel slow, shy, or afraid while learning English.
Many learners believe they need perfect grammar before they can start speaking confidently.
But the truth is, perfect grammar is not the key to learning a language well.
You don't need perfect grammar to speak English. You need regular and honest practice.
Regular practice means listening to English every day, even when you don't understand everything.
It means repeating sentences, copying pronunciation, and allowing your brain to get comfortable with the language.
It also means making mistakes without feeling embarrassed or ashamed of yourself.
Mistakes are not a sign of failure. They are a sign that you are actually learning.
This is where discipline becomes more important than talent for English learners.
Talent may help someone start faster, but discipline helps you continue when learning feels difficult.
Now, let's talk about something many learners wait for: confidence.
Many learners say they will speak English only when they feel confident enough.
But the truth is, confidence does not come before action. It comes after action.
Waiting for confidence is like waiting for muscles without going to the gym.
You have to speak first, even if your voice shakes and your sentences are not perfect.
When you take action again and again, confidence slowly follows you.
Discipline pushes you to practice on days when confidence is completely missing.
And that disciplined practice is what builds real confidence over time.
Confidence is not something you wait for. It is something you earn through action.
So if you are listening right now, stop waiting and start speaking today.
Speak with mistakes, speak slowly, and speak imperfectly if needed.
Every time you practice despite fear, you strengthen your discipline.
And every disciplined action brings you one step closer to confident English.
Remember this clearly. Discipline beats talent when it comes to learning a language.
Show up daily, practice honestly, and let confidence grow naturally.
Because confidence is not the beginning of the journey, it is the result.
This is why small daily efforts matter more than big plans that never start.
If you can stay disciplined with simple habits, progress becomes unavoidable.
10 minutes of focused practice every day can change how you think and speak.
Over weeks and months, those minutes quietly transform your ability.
You may not notice progress daily, but one day you suddenly feel more comfortable.
That comfort is confidence, and it comes from disciplined repetition.
So, trust the process, stay consistent, and keep practicing even on hard days.
Your English will improve, your fear will reduce, and your confidence will grow.
Discipline is your guide, practice is your tool, and confidence is the reward waiting ahead.
Keep going slowly, because consistency always wins in the end.
So, this brings us to the end of today's episode. We hope you enjoyed it and learned something from it.
And if you want to watch more episodes like this and learn English in a fun way, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Bye for now.